Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Master Orion. And one thing I'd like to do really quickly that I thought about is maybe building another Beetle bomber. And the reason for that is now that I have two fleets, only one of my fleets has a bomber, the one down here. And this fleet up here does not have one. So if I encounter something like a pirate base, I really won't be able to do anything about it because bombing the base is the only way to get rid of it. So outside of just dealing with the pirate fleets, I can't actually end the pirate threat. So let's go ahead and progress the turn.
This is GNN, Galactic News Network.
The Bulrathi Empire battle against the Alkari flock for control of the galaxy.
Okay, that's interesting because the Bulrathi, as far as we know, according to the last charts they gave us, we're not aware of any of the other alien races. So if we zoom out here, this is the information that Bulrathi gave us, is this. And from what we can see, there is no other race here that they gave us information about. So that's interesting. Another thing that will have a side effect on is possibly the redirection of the Bulrathi fleet here, which right now is too formidable for us to send our fleet across. If I send this fleet, it only has a strength of a little over 3,000, whereas theirs has a little over 5,000. So they have 2,000 advantage, as well as having this choke point of a military outpost. So that's definitely a dangerous proposition. If they attack us, we could have this fleet, our southern fleet as I call it, completely wiped out. So we definitely don't want that. But if they redirect a lot of their ships over here, we may have the ability to expand over here. And that's good because we have a colony ship, I think, coming out of Gaimon, no, not Gaimon, Geta Prime here sometime in the future. Although I think I ended up sending it this way rather than down. We could always redirect it. What is actually Geta working on? Another colony ship. So definitely, I think that's something that we want, and we might even want to speed up the production here. So we're going to get a population point in a turn. Maybe bringing down the research and increasing the production would be a good call for now for Geta Prime. So we can get another colony ship out as soon as possible. Because we very much like a colony in Altair because there's a really nice planet there. So if we can surpass the Bulrathi here and get a colony on Altair, that would be fantastic. It would be very hard for us to hold, though, if the Bulrathi turned on us. We'll have to see. This is definitely an opportunity for us. Also, we can see the ship in Orion here. I want to see its strength. So it's 57,000. So it's going to be quite a while before we can address it. Of course, our question was, if we enter the system, will the Guardian attack us, or will it only attack us if we try and get near Orion? I'm going to assume it only attacks us when we get near Orion, kind of like how that space monster worked. But I'm not positive on that, so this is kind of a test. I'm sending a frigate over. If we lose the frigate, not that big of a deal, although technically I could build a scout, which would be less of a loss. But again, we don't really have necessarily a military threat right now. We don't need every ship available to us at the moment. So this system, though, that we discovered is more or less lifeless. So we want to get into this system. Let's see if we can get this these guys on the way. There we go. Let's see what we got. So we've got, oh, there we go. We got a planet that's a good candidate for colonization. What is the gravity? Normal. There's no specials, but it's got abundant resources. It's an ocean biome, which is not bad for us. And it's a large planet, so it can have a decent population. This is just a desert planet. It's not a terrible planet, but maybe there's better candidates. It's definitely better than what we saw here, where there was only a radiant planet and some volcanic planets that are almost completely useless to us, or would be too expensive for us to utilize. Okay, so because this is a system that I definitely want to colonize, I think we probably want to start setting up an infrastructure here. Now, we can't do anything with the space factory until the colony ship gets here. And it's going to take that a little while to get there. So we might as well tell the colony ship where it needs to go, though. So that we don't forget that. And then this fleet, we may want it to continue to explore. What I think I'll do is I'll keep the destroyers and the space factory together. But I will get the frigates to separate. So that's one frigate. Let's grab the other frigate here. And we'll send it into this system. And then the main fleet here, I am going to put... it's hard to say which warp point I should jump to start building the infrastructure. I'm going to jump to here just as an assumption that there might be more threats over here. I could be wrong, but we'll just have to see. So there's that fleet queued up for its exploration. And we're going to have to wait to see if the Barathi fleet does anything. We already know about the war. But we don't know of the Alkari, so I don't know where they are yet. We built a holo simulator on Ptolemy 5. Let's just make sure that they've got things queued up. They're good to go. And we have another building on Fierce Prime. And it looks like they've got some production queued up as well. Let's see, what else does Fierce Prime have to go as far as production? Not a whole lot, honestly, and it could probably start building me a fleet. As a matter of fact, I discussed the possibility of constructing scouts. This would probably be a good opportunity to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and queue that up. As we can see, Fierce Prime is really producing a lot of production for me. And that's great. I mean, this is going to be a real useful planet for us as far as production. We definitely need those scout ships, as it's going to be harder and harder for us to scout out the new areas that we can explore. So I think we need to build those up as soon as possible. Okay, so I think we are more or less good to go for the future. So let's queue up the next turn. All right, so the Barathi Empire is indeed sending their fleet. Let's see how much of their fleet they're sending. Oh, they're just sending a scout. They're not moving this fleet, which is not what we're actually looking for. And they do have a cruiser. I think we noticed that. That's why they had this big jump in strength. We are building our own cruiser over in Seoul soon. So after this gets built, we will start working on the another cruiser. And once we have that, I think that will really definitely help the strength of our fleet. I think after a few buildings here... Oh, we also have our research done.
Just a minute of your time, President.
Okay, so this is a choice between two things. Either producing a building that helps us assimilate alien population, which currently we don't need, or a technology that allows our diplomacy to be more effective. Well, considering that the humans are supposed to have an edge in that, I think I'm going to go with this choice. Although this is a good thing too, but between the two, I'd like that. Okay,
Our
so
scientists have made a new discovery.
we had something I think we were trying to get at. What that was, I'm not exactly sure, but I think if I come over here and I see what that is... Oh, you know what? Maybe I was just doing things that were cheap, because this doesn't necessarily unlock something that I think I definitely wanted. So, yeah, I know we were going for this, and we definitely had a priority to go for that. I think at this point, I want to start reprioritizing military tech, as we are actually being able to open up to the rest of the galaxy here. So one tech we might want is battle pods, for sure. Alternatively, we could do fighter bays, but I like the idea of battle pods instead. This gives us more combat ability, and we can start fitting on some of these special systems we've been getting and not equipping. But this allows us to add more space onto our ship, which is exactly what we want. So I'm going to do that. as our next research. It's going to take 2 turns to get, so I think that's pretty good. All right, so what else we got going? So we have something building on Game 3. Let's just check to make sure everything is going as planned. So it does look like it is. Probably we want population here, so I'm going to go ahead and build that as its next queued item. And things look like they're going pretty well on the colony. We've got 6 of 10 population. That's a pretty good starting point for our colony. And Gator Prime has grown, which we were aware of. And let's see what the next population growth, it'll take us 8 turns to get. And I think we're happy with keeping that population point in food production because we're going to get rid of another population point here as soon as we get this colony ship, which should happen in 4 turns. We're really waiting for that Barathi fleet to move, and it is not doing so. So that's kind of disappointing, but we'll have to see. Okay, so let's go ahead and end the turn, as I think we've done everything we need to do. All right, so we have a new system discovered, and that's just because our fleet is moving around and being able to get more view of things. So if we click on that, we'll see it's over here. So our sensors are just being able to pick that up because we're over at this warp point. And we also have a moon lab being produced at another one of our newer colonies. And I think soil enrichment would be a good call here as well. So we'll go ahead and queue that up. Although advanced data center would be a nice thing. As a matter of fact, we have a lot of stuff going on here. And maybe we need to produce some of these easier things to produce first. Like, for instance, the atmospheric renewer, which I'm surprised I haven't built yet. And the toxic processor. Let's see how pollution is looking on all of our planets. So it's starting to get pretty polluted over here. It could be because of how much production we're actually putting out there. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to reprioritize that. I'm not going to quick buy it, though. And let's just check our other colonies, because it's not something I've been keeping an eye on. So Sol Prime is fine. Ptolemy 2 is fine. Geta Prime is fine. Fierce Prime is a little polluted, but not bad. Ptolemy 5 is fine. Gammon 3 is getting there again on the pollution. So these are some of our newer colonies that have again, I must not have realized that I needed to queue these because that's why the pollution is getting a little out of hand there as a result. So let's queue those up, and hopefully by the time they produce this, we won't have the issues with the pollution. So our 2 newer colonies are getting a little polluted here. Let's queue that up as well. All right, so that's a little bit of an oversight on my part. Did the Barathi fleet move? No, it's still there. So they're really not engaging us. I wonder if they're actually even winning their war with the Alkari, all things considered. Oh, we also have that new tech. Why don't we try it out? Let's see if we can get some things out of our Barathi.
What is it you want?
Contact here. All right, so
Speak plainly.
we could get better charts, maybe, now that they have maybe unlocked more. Or we could go for some of their tech. For instance, they have an orbital shipyard, which we can't build because of the tech choices we made. We could add this to our proposal, and they may or may not accept. Let's see if we can get this tech now. And maybe we'll exchange... Oop, no, I didn't want a non-aggression pact. Maybe we can exchange our own tech here. What are we willing to give them? Well, if we give them alien psychology, not really a loss. Maybe they would accept it. Let's see what happens. So, propose that.
Never in 10,000 moons.
All right, what would make that work?
We would take your coin and have you keep your distance.
You know what? I think I'm willing to pay for that. Although orbital shipyard isn't that important of a tech to me. It only works on planets with moons. And yeah, it increases production, which would help a number of our planets, but I just don't think it's worth it. Let's see about something else that maybe we can get out of this guy. So we'll cancel these things. Let's see if we can get the charts. We'll share our charts. Propose.
You will gain nothing from us.
What would make that
We will
work?
take your coin and have you keep your distance.
All right, well, I don't really care about it that much. He's being really tight with this, even after getting that. See if we can get a non-aggression pact out of this. All right,
You
well,
keep trying to take away what is ours. It is irritating.
let's see what we would need. Yeah, see, this is just nonsense.
We will take your coin and have you keep your distance.
All right, so this guy's pretty much being a jerk as far as our ability to really do anything with him. So I may do that exchange of tech. I think giving him alien psychology is not really that big of a deal. We get something out of the bargain there. And it costs us a little bit of money.
We will take your coin and have you keep your distance.
But I think it's worth it. We get tech that normally we could not unlock on our own. And we're not giving anything that gives him an edge. So, yeah, I think that's fine. So let's, we'll propose this.
Very well.
And honestly, I'm probably going to end up having to kill the Barathi because they're being very
Flee not,
uncooperative.
interloper.
Initially, they were being okay with the trade deal and things like that, but then they asked us for tech that we weren't willing to give them, and then they got all pissy with us, and since then, our relations have been pretty strained, so it is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and... oh, we also have tech that we need to deal with. All right. Wait. Didn't it say that we were done? Oh, we got the tech from the... Okay, that's what that was. All right. Let's go ahead and advance this fleet just so that we can see what's in here. All right, so... The arid planets, Swamp planet might be a choice, as it's rich in minerals. Let's go ahead and also move our other frigate here. See what's over here. Okay, so we've got a desert planet that has gold, and it's a very large planet. Maybe a worthwhile colony, but not necessarily going to prioritize it. Let's go ahead and send the... Oh, we've got a anomaly. Well, you know what we can do? We can come over into this system and then get it. Hopefully that will unlock the system as well. All right. With that being the case, go ahead and attempt... This is a barren system. Only has asteroids, so... And this is a barren system. So what would be the better choice as far as expanding ourselves? I don't want to move my fleet too far out because of the threat of losing some of my fleet here. So I'm going to move it to this system, kind of see what waypoints I get out of it, and then I'll probably recall it. So that's about as far as I'm willing to send frigates out. Once I get scouts produced, I'll be much more willing to go deeper into space. But for now, we're going to be a little bit more cautious. So we have a fleet sitting here that needs to be told to guard. What can we build? Just going to allow us to build a surveillance system. We're not really caring about that right now. So we'll just guard. Our colony ship here should be in system shortly. Go ahead and get it going. So next turn, this colony will be built so we can start working on a military outpost here. as a initial guard. And I also have to remember that I do probably want a military outpost over here eventually. At the moment, I don't think we're threatened by the Barathi because I don't think they have the tech to cross, but they will get it eventually. All right. Is that telling me that I can produce something? Because there's nothing over there. What is it? The moon? I forget what that tech was. It was moon something. Now this has a moon. But I don't, oh yeah, there it is. Orbital shipyard. We'd probably do want to queue that. And I'm going to put it out a little bit. Let's put it here so we can get that extra production. I mean, that's a decent production that we're going to get out of that. All right, who else has moons? Gator Prime does. So we can queue up Orbital Shipyard there. Which we may rush by that. I'm not positive on that. And we've got Fear's Prime over here. Can also do with a Orbital Shipyard. Which we may prioritize here. And again, we may rush by it. Not positive on that. It'll only take 5 turns for it to build, though. And Ptolemy 5 also can build a orbital shipyard. So let's build that. And bring it over here. And as far as all of our colonies go, I think that's all the ones that have moons. So I think we're set for that. And now we just advance the turn. Alright, so we discovered a new system, and let's see where that is. Huh. I wonder why we discovered that. Probably because of this ship, I would guess. Alright, so this guy here is going to jump into the system. And we see that we can go over here. And we're not sure if this links up to over here, though. We'll have to find that out here in a bit. But let's go ahead and peek at Orion Prime, which we assume to be a very awesome planet, as that is the norm. So we've got a huge planet that can hold 20 population. It is, biome-wise, as good as it gets. It's ultra-rich. Doesn't have any specials, though. But this is going to be a test to see what the Guardian does. Is it just going to come in and blast me, or is it going to stay around Orion? We'll have to see. We do have our tech unlock, and Sol Prime is also grown. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. So the population is there. I think we're good with that. So that looks good. Let's go ahead and take a look at our research.
Just a minute of your time, President.
As I discussed, I think I'm going to go with the battle pods. Fighter bays would be interesting, but I think I'm going to go this route for this playthrough. So we'll go with battle pods here. And that is unlocked.
Scientists have made a new discovery.
Now, again, I'm not going to upgrade
Just
any
a
of these
minute of your
ships. I'm going to
time,
do that
President.
manually. But it's definitely going to probably be an upgrade that we do. So let's first choose our research. I'm going to look at the tech tree here. And I want more combat ability. So if we go here, we'll get this in 2 turns. And this is better armor or reinforced hull. Both of which gives us a modifier to our ship. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock that. It shouldn't take too long. And then we'll unlock molecular compression here, which will give us a better missile, as well as better armor. So once we get this done, we will probably progress to that, which would only take us 4 turns. All right. Let's go ahead and go into the ship design tab and start upgrading our ship. So the first thing we want is the flea. We'll edit that. And I'm going to assume that's under special. battle pod, so it doesn't take any space up of its own. It just makes it a little bit more expensive. And it's going to give us something. Let's find out here once we equip it. All right, so now we have 75 space available. It gave us more or less a 50% bonus. All right, so of any of these, what would we want? We've got a ECM jammer, which is going to make us harder to hit, which might be good for our frigates. We can get a displacement device, which I'm not too sold on. This mainly just allows you to do these little blink jumps. Automated repair unit sounds good, but maybe not the best for the frigate. Dauntless guidance system, I probably want to add on every ship in my fleet. And then we also have the shield capacitor, which recharges shields faster. Battle scanner, which increases the chance to hit with beam weapons. Okay. This prevents people from running away. Not a priority, I don't think. But with the frigate, we can only choose one of these. So what would be the best? It would be a toss-up between the Dauntless guidance system. This allows the missiles to lock onto something else if its primary target is destroyed. Very useful for as missile heavy as we're going. Or the ECM jammer, which makes us harder to hit. We could also do the augmented engines, which gives us kind of a speed boost in combat. Again, that's not a priority. I think the Dauntless guidance system is the key here, so I'm going to go ahead and lock that. And then, as a result of the fact that we have a lot more space, we can actually add on some weapons here. So, our frigate, I think we're for sure going to add on another missile system. And we could get rid of the fast modifier here to give us some more abilities. So we can do only 2 missiles, but that's doubling our damage potential. So I think that's definitely worth it. You know, one thing I might consider with the bomber is adding on the death spores, although that would make me have some diplomacy issues if I remember correctly. But it shouldn't irradiate the planet like what we've seen with the nukes. And it should just kill the population. If we kill the population, maybe we can just gain the planet without having to really invade it. Although that's probably not really that big of a deal, having to invade a planet. In any case, let's go ahead and go on to the mass drivers. And more than likely, we're just going to add as many of these as we can. These are point defense, so looks like we can add a few extra on there. And that's done. Now, the fleet will be more expensive as a result of this change. Let's now jump into the WASP here. So, edit. We still have that bug where it tries to name it the thing that we edited before. So, we'll just change it back to WASP. And we're going to do the special. We can only do 2 specials here as well. So, I think they're going to be the same specials. We're going to do the battle pod plus a dauntless guidance system. So let's go ahead and do those 2 things. And then we're going to up the proton torpedoes, possibly. We could also switch them to fast like we did with the frigate, and then maybe add 1 more on. So we're making the proton torpedoes more effective, and we're also making them faster. So that's good all around, in my opinion. Let's hit done on that. And the mass drivers, we're probably going to want to upgrade as well. As far as I can tell, the mass drivers are still the most effective weapon we have as far as damage output, which I think we see down here in the lower corner. So we have 2 damage here, 1.66 here, and let's see, we've got 0.75 here, and 0.5 here. So mass driver wise, let's slap on 1 more of these and maybe a few more. Yeah, we can only do 1 more of the point defense. But overall, I think we've improved the combat ability of the WASP. So we'll go ahead and complete that. And we have a couple more ships that I need to do, but I'm going to save that for the next video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.